If I'm sitting on an airplane and I don't have my laptop with me, and so I just have my phone, and my options are to stare at the back of the seat in front of me like David Putty, or play this game, I don't know what I would do.
What you said at the end of your podcast, you should have said at the beginning.
This is a game mostly developed by one guy, open source, free to play in some circumstances, that, you know, there's no obligation to go out and play this. Like the barrier to entry is super low. Go and play it. I think, like, if you like it, you'll like it. If you don't, hey, you know, really no harm, no foul.
And then before we start the video, disclaimer.
But again, like, we've only spent 2-ish hours playing it so far, not 10 plus years.
These opinions are based off of our new player experience, which was about 2 hours. So I'll take my own advice, and I'll put this disclaimer at the beginning. I'm a huge Pixel Dungeon fan, so I'm very biased. I think we're probably very similar. I like chess, Diablo 4, roguelikes. I'm probably going to try FTL and Monster Train after seeing your reviews on them. And I'm a fan of your podcast, so please don't take what I say as a personal attack. I'm sure you guys are great. I'm pretty sure. I think. I don't know yet, but I'm sure you're fine. You're making a podcast about roguelikes after all, so I think that's pretty cool. But you have insulted my precious baby Shattered Pixel Dungeon. So let the trash talking begin. What made me so dang angry while listening to your podcast is I didn't find out until 39 minutes into it that you had only played for a little over 2 hours. So I went and I looked at your rankings for games number 1 and number 2. You have FTL and you have Monster Train. FTL,
I've only beaten it on easy twice after 40 hours.
No, I beat it on normal, and like that.
Yeah,
like, I put 62 hours into the game.
and then I look at Monster Train, and Will said you had like...
Yeah, I played it when it was released, and so the DLC wasn't out then, and so I think I had like most of like the 78 hours I have into this game back then, and so I think in the past couple weeks, like I did 10 to 15 hours just to refresh.
What the heck is that, guys? How do you put them on the same ranking chart? This game I played for 2 hours, and this one I played for 80. Come on. I mean, I get it. If you don't like it and want to keep playing, well, maybe because you're recording a podcast about it where you're giving it a review, maybe. If you've looked at YouTube analytics, you see that most people stop watching after a few minutes. So to bury that you've only played for 2 hours, 39 minutes in, that is just, that's not right. And when you said that playing it felt like homework when you'd rather be playing Diablo 4.
Yeah, if I have an option, if I have free time to play Diablo 4 or this game, it's really hard. It was really hard for me to be like, okay, well, got to do my homework here, essentially. That's what it felt like.
Maybe it's time to reflect. How much you're really into this podcast? What does it mean to make it? Are you feeling like you're just doing your homework just because you know you have to record a podcast next week? The whole hour, you guys are constantly complaining about how bad it is to play on mobile. And in the intro, Scott mentioned it's available on itch.io, which is a free PC and Mac executable. You just download it. It's ready for you there right on PC. So here you are suffering on mobile and hating it when just a little bit of effort away was your solution to get it there on PC. And it's free. Okay. You made some really good points about the attention economy and how there's other things you could be playing. And yeah, that's very valid.
Having your handheld a little bit in this day and age where there are so many options for other games is good, because I need you to convince me to play your game.
Mm-hmm.
And because a lot of the games that it's like, oh, is this a bad game, or is it just like trying to be brutally difficult right from the get-go? And they can look very similar and be like, oh, well, you just got to put 5 more hours into this and then it gets good. It's like, I did, and now it's still bad.
So a game needs to have a good onboarding, a good new player experience. So I went ahead myself because I wanted to experience the new player experience and see what it was like and kind of understand where you're coming from. You mentioned a lot about no tutorials. You wanted a little more hand holding. And you also mentioned that there's no narrative.
What's my drive here?
Right.
What am I doing here?
I was about to say that, like the narrative, like the fact that there's none. Well,
Yeah.
there's like one blah blah.
You got to get the Yendor amulet.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't even know that was
supposedly
a thing until, like, I saw someone's YouTube video.
So I downloaded an emulator so I could sign into a fresh Google Play account and get a fresh download of Pixel Dungeon, of Shattered. And so when I logged into it, it was starting to be brand new save. I could only play the warrior, etc. And what I discovered, guys, was quite shocking. Scott, you mentioned near the end that you found out about the Amulet of Yendor by watching a YouTube video and the guy got kind of to the end and you're like, oh, there it is. Dude, it's in the first screen. Talk about no narrative. The opening screen tells you about this dark and evil dungeon. You gotta go get the Amulet of Yendor. That, and I gotta say, I lost my mind at this point. You guys didn't read the first screen. You gave it's just so telling about the amount of effort you put in. You just click through it. You click through all the tutorials and all the intros. You didn't read a dang thing, or you would not be complaining about narrative. I don't think you would be complaining about tutorials. And I think most of you would have maybe made it past the prisons. I mean, I can understand how it can be frustrating, but that's roguelikes. I think so many games nowadays are roguelites, but not really roguelikes. You mean like the game Rogue. And when it comes down to it, maybe y'all don't like roguelikes that much. And I mean, that's okay. It's totally fine. So here we go. I played a new save. I wanted to see what your issue is with the tutorials, and I was quite shocked. But here we are. So as soon as you load in, what do you know? We have some more text. I have a little bit more narrative, one could say. Well, let's give it a quick read, because I feel like you guys did not even bother to read it. How long does it take me to read this? The upper floors of the dungeon actually constitute the city's sewer system. As dark... Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta go play Diablo 4. So I gotta say, it was quite appalling when the first floor, I read the tutorial about examining. What is this? Oh, interesting. Let's go check out this book. And notice this blinking icon up here. Also, the book kind of flew up into that corner. So let's click on this. And look, it's actually like an open book. Tutorial section maybe? Introduction! Greetings, adventurer. You are reading the Tome of Dungeon Mastery. This book is full of tips and tricks to help budding adventurers survive and excel. Whenever the journal icon at the top right blinks, the guidebook has something to tell you. Some pages seem to be ripped out of the book though. Perhaps you can find them in the dungeon. So we're going to find ripped pages and it's going to fill in the book for us. The Tome of Dungeon Mastery. Okay, maybe we will become dungeon masters. Oh, look at that. The door magically appeared and our toolbar also came up. And we have some icons here. We have the zoom in button, the clock. Well, let's just move on. Time to explore. Just going to click. So time stopped and we noticed this little thing popped up. So maybe we can, okay, we see a mouse up there.
New enemy. It just appeared on screen. I want to know what the heck it does. So like what I've never seen it before. How do I get information about it? There is no way on these games with the way they're designed, I should say, to get information. Why is there not like just a big button bottom left?
Well, did you ever use the magnifying glass button in Shattered Pixel Dungeon?
There's a magnifying glass button apparently.
It's one of like the 3 buttons on the screen.
Apparently that's not a zoom button. I thought that was zoom. I never engaged with that button.
Well, I don't know what to do about that. So click on the tutorial here. Oh, look at this. Introduction. Examining? No way. Look at all this. Look at all this tutorial. Look, it's giving us the icon. The thing we thought was a zoom in. This isn't zoom, it says examining. Rushing into enemies is almost never the best way to deal with them. It is important to study your opponents and surroundings to learn how to defeat them. You can examine something by using the magnifying glass button and selecting the thing you want to examine. You can also examine buffs or debuffs by selecting their icons. Okay, so we got this mouse is coming at me. And it says it's a rat. Interesting. That just tells me that you blew through the tutorials. Like you guys think there wasn't one and you skipped it? Well, or maybe you skipped it and then you all said, no, there wasn't one.
If there was a tutorial, did I didn't miss a tutorial, did I?
No.
Okay.
Or if you did, we all missed it and it wasn't obvious.
Yeah.
No, you skipped it. I mean, it's not so obvious. It's not its own little world. It's just that little icon, the little thing up here that looks like a book, the Tome of Dungeon Mastery. How are you going to master the dungeon, y'all, if you don't read from the Tome of Dungeon Mastery? Come on. So I get to level 2, and sure enough, right away, there's a note on the ground. And what does this note tell me how to do? How to examine. How do we search for hidden doors? So the first time I played through, that room had no doors whatsoever. So I was forced to, read the note and examine it to get out. And I remember you said in your podcast, so you also encountered a room with no doors and you were like, what the heck do I do? It's just not telling me. You're complaining that it doesn't tell you anything about how to get out.
But even then, like I was having trouble where like I was running around in this dungeon and I thought I came to like just a total dead end. Like you come down a flight of stairs and like to the next level or whatever. And I'm like, well, there's no doors. Like, I don't know, like, what am I doing wrong here? And I had to go to the Discord, post screenshot, and ask a question. They're like, oh yeah, you just tap and hold down on the magnifying glass and it searches the area around your character. I'm like, okay. Clicked it. Oh, there's a door there. Okay. I wish I would have known that ahead of time. I think
The
with
tap
this,
and hold. So that was like, that's the thing that they never tell you about, but they expect you to know.
And I'm like, what the heck, guys? There's a freaking note right there on the ground. Surely you picked it up, and surely you looked at the blinking thing in the corner that's telling you to click on it and clicked on it and then read the deal. Oh, okay, look at this. Another spot with no doors at all, but there's a little bit of paper here on the ground. Let's check it out. Okay, the guidebook page is blinking. What's it saying? Searching. Dungeons are full of secret doorways and traps which appear invisible at first glance. Searching takes time, but it is very useful if you suspect something is hidden. Search near walls if you suspect a door is hidden, or around floors if you suspect a trap is hidden. You can search all the tiles around you by using the magnifying glass button twice. Anything that's hidden in these tiles will be revealed. Maybe there are some hidden doors near where you found this page. Okay, I gotta call you all out. I just gotta call you out. It's in the second floor. They literally drop it here, put you in a situation where you need to use it, and then explain how to use it. How much more of a tutorial do you need? I'm sorry. How much more do you need? That is it. It was forced upon me. I'm in a room with no doors, and then how to find the door was written on a page on the ground. I don't know, guys. I don't know. And then I thought, well, maybe this isn't how it is. So I actually created a new Google account and re-downloaded and did it again. And sure enough, right there again on floor 2 is the exact same note explaining how to examine. So all of your complaints, they're crap. They're because you click through too fast. It's because you spent more time on your podcast complaining about the game than you spent learning about the things that would have stopped you from complaining. It's kind of weird and kind of a crazy loop, but can't you see like how that's rage inducing? And how I'm starting to get suspicious that like maybe it's deliberate trolling and rage baiting. If it is, chef's kiss, hats off to you guys. You did it absolutely perfect, and I am the result. I'm the product, the steaming soup of your rage bait. Good job. You nailed it. Look at this guy. He's like, stop yelling at the poor guys. Stop yelling at them. They just want to do their job and make content too for the YouTubes. I know. Sorry, guys. I'm glad you chose Shattered Pixel Dungeon, but I wish you would have given it a fair shake. Rat Punchers, punch on!